starting.
Hello and welcome to Brit of All Right. I'm Alex Boardman.
I'm Chris Kehoe.
And what is Brit of All Right?
Well, is it a podcast? Is it a show? What do you call these things nowadays?
It's a podcast, show,
video, whatever. About Britain and what makes Britain good.
Yes.
So not great, but what makes it all right. Because there's
Yes.
nothing more British than saying something's all right.
Yes, I agree.
I don't like this sort of like grandiosity that's crept into British culture. You know what I mean? You know,
With regards to what? Can you give me an example?
Well, sort of, the whole sort of hanging of flags everywhere,
Yes,
for example. That's the least British thing I can imagine anyone doing. It's very American, but it's not very British.
No, I agree. But although what is quite British is to hang them poorly.
Yeah. If you're going to do something, don't actually commit.
Do you know why that is? Because since Brexit, all the Poles have gone home, so we had to use British workmen.
They've taken the ladders with
They have, so they've only managed to get them halfway up the pole. I think it's a response to that. What we're going to do is try and celebrate British things, because when the flags were hung up, and we hear constantly from people like Farage, etc., about what's wrong with the country, and they talk about British culture, and nobody ever says what that is.
No, exactly.
It could be anything.
Yeah. It is lots of different things, isn't it? One thing I do like about this country is like how diverse it is in the classic sort of sense of the word. You know what I mean? And that you can go sort of like 15 miles down the road, people have different accents, they eat different food.
Yes.
They're your natural enemies because they're from 15 miles away.
Like Liverpool, we're in Manchester, so we go east to Leeds, that's about 40 miles away. Yeah. That's hate. They hate us, we hate them.
Alien country.
Yeah.
Almost,
the other way, in about the same distance, west is Liverpool. Yeah. Totally different accent. They hate us, we hate them. Yeah. North is what? Preston.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's even that further.
Bothered about Preston.
People are all right. Those in between places.
Yeah, and then south would be Stoke. Yeah. Which has got its own problems, I think. So I leave them alone. I do like hot cakes.
Yeah. And pottery. Everyone likes pottery.
Yeah, everybody likes pottery. So what we're going to do is, this is the book. Oh, and there was the pen. So this is the Brit of All Right book.
British pen.
Which it's nice, it's got a little bird on.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is that?
It's a magpie.
Oh, there you go.
That's all right.
That's a British...
it's
bird.
Made in Italy.
Oh, I was supposed to get a Union Jack pad and forgot.
Yeah. So you had to have whatever I had lying around.
Yeah,
it's a nice book.
Italian magpie. Yeah, so we'll put them in the Brit of All Right book if they make it. So what's the first? Am I going first? Or
you go first.
Right. Okay. So the first thing might be controversial, but this is what I would suggest we put in. Okay. And it could be classed as the national dish of Britain.
Right.
But typically, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens. So it could be roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, which I had yesterday, and it was very nice. Or it could be chicken tikka masala, which is another thing that often tops the poll as British food. Yeah. But
could be a sort of pasty.
A pasty if you're from Cornwall.
Yeah.
Or a black pudding. No, I don't think anybody said black pudding's a national dish. But I've gone for fish and chips.
All right, okay.
I think route one, it's the first episode, the first thing we're going to try and get
Go with the crowd pleaser.
Yeah, go with the crowd pleaser. Everybody likes fish and chips, don't they? Except for vegetarians.
But even they probably do like it. They just don't eat it. Morally opposed to it. Yeah, exactly.
So I last had fish and chips 3 days ago. It was stunning from a local chippy.
All right, is it good, your local chippy?
The Devonport.
A good local chippy is something that should affect house prices, I think.
Yes.
Within like catchment areas of schools. Yeah. Catchment areas of one of those chippies that opens at random times. Yeah. They're always good.
Well, when they don't, a sign of a good chippy is it's not open at 11 o'clock at night. When the pubs are shut, the chippy's been shut 2 hours.
Or it's not open at tea time.
It just does dinners.
Yeah. They're always good.
Why it could be controversial is this. So the first instance, so Charles Dickens talks about in Oliver Twist in 1838, he talks about chipped potatoes and he talks about fish warehouses. I didn't know this until I looked into it.
Right, okay.
The first fish shop selling battered fish was from a Jewish immigrant called Malin. I think it's called Joseph Malin in Bow in the East End of London. That's round about 1860.
Right, okay.
But it originated, we think, from Portugal, frying fish in batter.
I've had fried fish in Portugal, well,
Yes.
all over the Mediterranean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was most probably brought by Jewish immigrants to the country, but from Portugal or even the Netherlands. But Portugal and Spain most likely, but from the Jewish sections of those cities.
Yeah.
When the Industrial Revolution's middle of the 1800s is rife.
That's interesting because I wouldn't have associated. I don't know what this says about me. I wouldn't have associated fish and chips as sort of Jewish cuisine.
Well, so this is where it's controversial. Is so the Bow shop, the Joseph Malin shop. There's a blue plaque there, and it's 1860 or 1861, depending on when it started.
Okay.
But they sold fried fish that was battered. But then the first fish and chip shop is from Oldham, where I'm from.
Really?
Somebody called John Lees, I think.
Right.
Something like the most Oldham.
I was going to say that sounds like someone
have.
who owns a chippy in Oldham.
So at Tommyfield Market, there's a blue plaque there saying he was the first to sell fish and chips together. So chips had been being sold, but not like chippies that we know it. It was basically like a big open fire with a massive metal oil-filled barrel.
Right.
And people just threw fried potatoes in it and sold them in newspaper.
Right. Okay.
For like pennies or half pennies and stuff.
That's a bit like I used to buy steamed potatoes on the market.
Oh
from like a
at Berry Market.
It was Farnworth Market in
Right.
Bolton. But and he had like, and it came in like a sort of paper bag.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had like this big steamer basically on wheels. Yeah.
So there's a dude at Berry Market, which is an amazing market, and he does new potatoes. You get about 8, and he puts a big chunk of butter on, and sometimes parsley, sometimes not. And then he also does pigeon peas, which are like a brown.
They're like black peas.
Yeah, black peas. So you'd have them at parched peas, is what they call them. in Lancashire.
Yeah.
So you'd have them at like bonfire night, but he does them every week. So
that's like having Christmas pudding all year round.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
So fish and chips. Why it might be sketchy is because of its like heritage being one from Portugal or Spain, or being brought to the country by either Dutch or Portuguese Jewish people.
Right. Okay.
But I think it feels like it's been so many generations now. It's such a part of British culture.
Yeah.
It's got to be allowed.
Because the argument that it can't be British unless it at what point in the does someone have to be
exactly because potatoes are not a native thing.
Yeah.
So
basically, unless it's an oak tree, it's not
or a turnip, or maybe carrots. But I think purple carrots, and I don't think orange carrots are even native.
I don't know.
I might be making it up.
I know rabbits aren't native.
No,
they're French.
Are they?
Yeah. They were brought in by the Normans, I think. Or did the Romans bring them over? It might be the Romans.
Yeah, it was the Romans 2,000 years ago.
Right,
it was.
okay.
I've read that, and because they used to eat them,
right?
And then they just escaped, and obviously they let 2 rabbits out. 6 months later,
it's
just rabbit. You got water shit down. So first one in fish and chips. So we put it in. Are we allowing it?
Well, first of all, I absolutely.
Yes.
Well, like, what accompaniments would you have with fish and chips? This is the thing.
So I had peas. I went 3 days ago. I had fish, chips, and mush peas.
Yeah.
I've had it with curry. I like it with curry, chip shop curry.
Yeah.
Which is quite sweet.
Yeah.
Some people have it with gravy. I think that's wrong.
That's sort of like
There's enough chippy items.
Sort of like Lancastrian surf and turf, isn't it? I guess.
Well,
like
so this is my
chips and gravy.
If you're in a good chippy, you've got loads of pies that you can have with gravy. You've got sausage you can have with gravy, battered sausage you can have with gravy. You've got pudding.
So you're saying, listen, gravy boys, back off the fish. You've got enough stuff that you could have with.
Well, it just doesn't go. I don't think it goes.
I agree with you. I would never
have what you want, but you're wrong. It's like so. We could like my eldest had a mate over and had made bacon butties. And he just came in and I was like, oh, do you want bacon butty? There's one spare. I might have 2, I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
He was like, yes, brilliant. And then he went, so I went, do you want brown sauce? And then he went, have you got any ketchup?
Oh, you see,
do you know what I mean?
I'm a snob when it comes to people using ketchup inappropriately.
Well, I kind of felt like, I don't want to give you the
No,
message.
I would refuse to. Give me that.
I've not seen it for like a year. I was like, okay, if you have to put your own ketchup on, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing this sacrilege.
But next time that happens, I won't. I'll just have two, and I'll just have to watch me eat them.
Where do you stand on people who have ketchup with chips?
It feels all right with fries.
Yeah.
But
right, okay.
I'd have curry or I'd have tartar sauce or something if I was with fish and chips and vinegar.
Would you have mayonnaise, like a big European style?
Yeah, but I like mayonnaise with pizza, but not.
What?
Yeah, a takeaway pizza.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because the cheap, nothing authentic Italian about it. One of those deep bases with just tons of like catering cheese on.
Yeah, with hamburgers on or whatever.
Yeah, Donomy, that kind of stuff. So it's lovely on that. I wouldn't have mayo with chippy chips, but I'd have them with
fries.
Right, and I'd have ketchup with fries, but not chippy chips.
Do you know I was once buying fish and chips from the canteen at work where I used to work? They used to have fish and chips on a Friday. Okay.
Right. Yes. That's the Catholic thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I was queuing up with my tray, and as you go, and I said to one behind the counter, "Can you have fish, chips, and peas, please?" And she said, "Did you say peas or beans?" And I was like, "Well, of course I meant peas." I was like, "Who's ordering beans with fish and chips?"
Absolutely.
I'm not a barbarian, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she like went, "Oh well, look at it," as though like I was the person in the wrong for this, right? And then after me, the three other people after me all ordered fish, chips, and beans. So actually, I was the outlier.
Yes.
Despite the fact I was clearly right,
but it doesn't go
culturally.
It's the wrong. Yeah. You can have pie chips and peas, pie chips and beans. I'd allow it on certain pies. Cheese and onion pie with beans, acceptable.
Yeah, even I'd probably have that with peas.
I'd have it with peas.
Yeah.
But steak and kidney pie and beans, no,
it doesn't work.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like beans anyway. I mean, we can talk about beans another time. But
I don't mind them, but
they've got no place.
They're all right on toast.
No. Yeah, exactly.
No, you're at a higher level than a bean.
Yeah, exactly.
beans should aspire to being in a chip.
Beans are what you have when there's literally nothing else.
Yeah.
If
you have like, we've broken a window. It's December, so your electricity bill and fuel bill's massive, and you've just got Christmas coming. You're like, let's have beans for a week.
Living on beans
for
this
tea.
week.
Cheese on toast, beans on toast. Those are your teas.
Yeah.
But normal times, they're all right on a fry up, which again is something that people contest.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a sort of like keep them separate from everything else type.
Yeah, I had a really nice fry up in Manchester, and it was really expensive. It was like 17 quid. And it was like, they made a big point of, we do not serve beans because it's not authentic, it's not a proper fry up. And to be honest, by the end of the fry up, it was really claggy.
And so you needed something to go through it.
Yeah.
Tomatoes will do the same sort of thing, won't it?
You need a bit of wet.
Yeah.
You need...
There you go. It's a catchphrase for life.
So, fish and chips, I'm going to put it in.
Yeah, going in.
Right.
I think so.
I'm going to put it in.
You have to twist it.
I've done it. Number one.
Fish and chips.
Fish, I'm going to do an.
You could do an or an ampersand, which one you
Oh yeah, I did an.
Alright, okay.
I can see on the side.
Yeah, well done.
So a good chippy is worth its weight in gold, isn't it?
There was a good one round there, and it closed because the guy who ran it died. And no one else.
No, and that's fair enough. You shouldn't mess with perfection.
With God. Yeah, exactly.
God said that's enough chips for this region.
Yeah. No more chips.
How far would you go for? So I've got so my local chippy's good. There's a chippy in Middleton that's really good, which I know in Stockport, so that's a good 30 minutes away, and I will visit that.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm, I'll take to see my mum and stuff.
Right, okay, yeah. You wouldn't go there to then take back.
Oh, no, be cold.
Exactly.
Be cold. I'd take it to my mum's or have it in the car.
Yeah. Secret, you like having an affair with those chips.
I'd love if that was possible. And then, but I'm loyal to 3 or 4 chippies. I'll have a chippy anywhere, but there's only like 3 that I really have, and the other one's Bispham.
Oh,
near
right,
Blackpool.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
And we had a sit down chippy over Christmas there because we went to play in Coral Island.
Oh, right.
And we ended up playing darts all day. It was really good over Christmas. And then we finished it off with a chippy, and it was awesome. Bispham chippy. It's like a sitting one.
Right. Okay.
And it was really good.
That's the good thing about a place like Blackpool. There's lots of sitting chippies you can, and it's not like sitting in a restaurant. There's one in Bolton town centre actually called Olympus, which is really good. You can sit in it.
I like bread and butter with it because you get tea and bread and butter.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not talking about a muffin or a balm or whatever you call it.
Just like
actual
bread.
Warby's bread, and then butter that's maybe a bit butter. Maybe a bit margarine.
Yeah.
But
no, that's really good. Well, it's interesting you should say Bispham because my choice for this week is well, not Bispham, but wider than that is the concept of the seaside holiday.
Oh, okay.
That's a very specific British thing. I'm not saying that people from other countries don't go to the seaside.
Yeah,
clearly they do. But,
everybody in Italy's like, never thought.
Well, that big blue wet thing over there.
Yeah, no, let's just stay in the land.
Let's stay hiking in the mountains. But but the concept of the seaside holiday is a very British thing.
Yeah. Well, the British seaside holiday.
Well, the British seaside clearly is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, but you know what I mean. But there's actually I was doing a bit of research into it, and the idea of like an actual holiday rather than just being this beach being somewhere where you go is definitely a British invention. Well, I think the Romans first started going to places to bathe, which is where lots of like spa things.
Yeah, like
from
bath
Romans,
and
like
things.
bath.
Yeah.
What was it called? Bath in Roman in Latin? Was it like sort of aqua solis or something like that in it? But so there's that. But the concept of the seaside holiday really started happening around the 18th century in Britain.
Oh right, so before I thought it was Victorian times, so it's way before that.
Before then, and then we'll come to the Victorian times. So it was basically the aristocracy would go to places like Scarborough or Brighton. The first two were Scarborough and Brighton.
Really?
So Scarborough had like acidic water, which doesn't sound positive, I don't think. If you go to TripAdvisor and you said the water was very acidic, but like it became like a health thing due to it being almost like like mineral water, like spa town sort of thing. I think Scarborough is a spa town, I think. But it started off. That's
what's near it. Harrogate's quite near.
Harrogate's nearby, and
that's quite
Bridlington and places like
Bridlington's whole way.
Whitby and
you know
what I mean, all of that sort of like neck of the woods. It's quite nice, Scarborough. I think you can tell that once upon a time it was well to do anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's and also Brighton because that was sort of near to basically where the sort of king lived.
Right.
You know what I mean? In essence, he's not going all the way to Scarborough. He'll go nearer to home. He's go to Brighton. So they were the first places that sort of started doing it. And it was more of a health thing.
Yeah, to take in the water.
Taking
the air.
Seawater and sea air is meant to be good for health, and that sort of carried underneath.
Because Brighton Beach is all stones.
It's like pebbles, isn't it? Yeah. It's not.
And I can't be in Scarborough. Oh yeah, I've been on Scarborough Beach. It's nice actually.
Yeah.
Went with the dog. It's nice.
Yeah. So it's that's when it started, and then in the Victorian times, the sort of common man got onto the sort of little scheme
because they started having a weekend.
So not only that, they started having. So you're from Oldham, aren't you? Did you have when you were a kid? Did you have like a bonus week off? Oldham Wakes.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We had it around here. We called it Wakes Week or Bolton Holidays or whatever. Yeah. And basically you got, and I'm sure it was 2 weeks we had as well.
Yeah, it was.
And you got 2 weeks off in June as a bonus holiday that no other kids in the country got if they lived from non-industrial places.
Yes.
They just lived in nicer locations. But we had...
didn't die in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Lung disease.
Yeah.
With missing fingers.
Yeah, but we had an extra 2 weeks off in June. So you'd have like 2 weeks off, then you come back to school for 3 weeks, then a bit of summer holidays. It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And but that's when we used to go on holiday when I was a kid because it wasn't school holidays everywhere, so it was like fairly cheap.
We went to Eastbourne.
So it was cool. And that's when seaside holidays started. When basically the mill workers working in places like Bolton and Oldham and Manchester and various other industrial places, Wakes Weeks came from the factories having to close for a week to allow them to maintain the machines. So they'd have like a sort of guaranteed shutdown for a week, so you can't come to work. So they'd save up all year and go to the seaside. Yeah.
Blackpool probably.
So I went to Blackpool, and they started going away because it coincided with the introduction of railways, which meant you could get around the country more easily. So they get on the train and go to Blackpool, stay there for a week, and then come back and carry on.
So
51 more weeks of
200 years ago, things were actually better than they are now. Because to get to Blackpool, you have to get a northern train from Piccadilly, which is just not turning up, is it? It's still going to be cancelled.
Exactly. There were no rail and replacement bus services or anything like that. So that's how it started. And then, but they never got paid for it. So for like 100 years, they'd go on holiday. People go on holiday for a week or then maybe 2 weeks as it went by, and it was unpaid leave. So you just didn't get paid, but you were off work. And then in 1938, there was the paid holiday. I wrote it down. I'm going to look.
You wrote it in the British Right book.
I did. I wrote it in here. What was the name of the act? It was the Holidays with Pay Act of 1938.
Wow.
Came into effect.
And as a former barrister, did you never have to cite that in court?
Never had to do that. Didn't do employment law. Yeah, and it's been repealed now anyway by various employment acts and what have you. But so it wasn't until it came into effect in 1939, just in time for the Second World War. So,
this is a massive 4-week holiday.
And people got to go to beaches all over France and all that.
With your mates as well, you didn't even have to take you out.
With your families, went with all your mates and got involved. And that's when they started the sort of Brits abroad stuff. When you go and fight with tourists from other countries.
Crazy.
But yeah, so then that that meant that everyone got like paid holidays then, and so you can see it all built one on top of the other. And what I liked about it is that Wakes weeks carried on I remember from being a kid, so all the way till the 90s, and apparently they had them in I think they had them in Scotland as well.
Right.
There was some mill industry there, and I was reading that. So in Blackpool, you'll know this. Blackpool's very popular with Glaswegian people.
Absolutely, yes.
Which I think comes from that Wakes weeks.
Really, that's so interesting because also it's on the same coast. Yeah. But then they've got sort of Ardrossan, West Kilbride, that kind of area over to Arran. Yeah. So if you're in Glasgow, you're only an hour from the coast, and then you've got like little island hops you can do.
But I guess there's no sort of there's not like a sort of sense of it. Well, I don't want to go island hopping. I just want to go somewhere where I can get really, really, really drunk.
Really drunk, and there's loads of machines and shows and stuff. Yeah, the shows were massive, weren't they?
Yeah. Donkey rides on the beach, all that sort of carry on. Apparently, in the sort of peak of the sort of Glaswegian sort of week-long migration to Blackpool, they used to bring their own police with them. Well, rather, Glaswegian, I assume it wasn't they brought them. I think that
they just police
sort of said, you deal with these ones. Because there was such an influx. But that's how much money was coming into these towns, though, is that there was so many people going to them.
Yeah.
That, it must have been proper boom time.
Yeah.
But and then that sort of fell away basically with the advent of sort of cheaper sort of
package holidays abroad
stuff, and then so you can
the
see the trend of it.
It's only the weather. Yeah. I love a British seaside town. There's something
about them, that whole sort of straw bolter on with hats and
an invisible dog on a lead and a sticker rock and a bit of fun on machines, and it just if you get a sunny day, it's wonderful. But it's the if that's the only
exactly. Problem. And I remember I always find it quite funny or ironic that sort of seaside holidays started as sort of health benefits of going in the sea. And then when I was a kid, people wouldn't see it at Blackpool and get polio.
The loads of times you're not allowed.
I was going to see was this brown sludge.
And just to tie it all back to British beaches with the flag system. It's a red flag, you can't go on the beach. Whereas now it'll be should you go on, because there's loads of Union Jacks flying at half mast.
You don't want to be doing that.
No, it's not the Union Jack, but I'm saying Union Jack because I always did.
Union Jack at sea, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. No, I think it's attached to a ship.
Attached to a ship. Yeah. That's where flags come from, though. So you know which ship's which.
Yeah, so you can identify each other.
Yeah, you don't need it in countries because we all know where we are.
Yes. So whenever I'm on a ship, it always surprises me, and I don't know why they do this. I could Google it, but I'm not that bothered. When you say if you're going into Spain, they'll fly a Spanish flag, and then if you're going to Portugal, they'll fly the Portuguese flag.
All right, as in
we're now coming here.
Right,
so I don't know what it is. Whether it's I don't know.
Well, if there's any maritime people watching, maybe they could write in and tell us. I don't know.
Yeah, in the comments section.
Yeah.
Which is probably overflowing.
Yeah, because you fly the flag of
Where you're from,
where
I
the boat's
thought.
registered, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean, or
thought,
whatever it is. Yeah,
which is often the Bermuda because you don't have to pay tax.
right. Okay.
So
Right, yeah,
it's like one island has got like nearly every ship you'll see in the sea is registered in Bermuda
Yeah.
because it's just
That's the other thing I was going to say about Blackpool, though. Just remembered before I started talking about Union Jacks is that the illuminations.
Yes.
What do you think about the illuminations?
Well, I saw them in December when we went, and they were
Hasn't just gone.
They were just gone. They've extended it because they used to only be on for like a month.
Yeah.
Which I think was September, and they've made it last a lot longer.
It was like to extend the season.
Yeah,
basically,
they've
wasn't
lasted about 3 or 4 months now, and they were really good fun.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, in the car was a 22-year-old, a 26-year-old, and then 2 people, one in the late 40s and one in the 50s, me. And I was driving around going like that. Ooh! Get the sunroof open. It's about -3. We had the sunroof open and it's got the heater on and it was freezing, but it was good.
When it first started off, they called it artificial sunshine. The
Did
illuminations.
they?
Yeah,
Is that why they did it?
Yeah, so it was in 1879, I think, or 1869. I wrote it down again. Let's have a look. What did I think? I'm sure it was 1879. Illuminations, where is it? 1879, yeah, I was right first time. 100 years before I was born. But, and all it was, the first ever illuminations were 8 light bulbs. Carbon arc bulbs, okay?
Right.
And that was it.
Just
like, so, yeah.
So people like 150 years ago would have just walked and seen some bulbs.
Just some bulbs, basically,
Wow.
on the street.
Although if you
But
still had gas lanterns, then that would
that
be...
was a year before Thomas Edison officially invented the light bulb, though. So
Wow.
that would have been like witchcraft. Sort
Yes,
of,
it
you know what I
would.
mean?
Yeah, you can imagine.
So you can sort of imagine that was actually quite sort of thrilling, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
In a way. Well, it'd be one of those things. It was like fireworks, isn't it? You watch one and go, "Oh, that's good," and then after sort of 30 seconds, you've had enough of it.
Temping bowling is another like
yeah.
the law of diminishing returns.
At speed, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like first bowl, not bad. Second bowl, getting the hang of this. Third bowl, ball. Fourth bowl, oh, got to go to the sixth to go.
Peaked at number 2.
Yeah, it's still because you also assume you'll be good at it as well because it looks so easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've done it on the Wii.
Yeah.
Something, and you're like, well, I keep getting.
And also, like, I did it a bit when I was like a teenager, and I was all right at it. Like in the way that you're all right at most things when you're a teenager.
Yeah. And then
or you have an inflated view of your own ability. I'm not quite sure which it is.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Right. So
does that go in there? Do you think?
Yes,
the British
and
holiday?
I'd also secretly put Blackpool Illuminations in.
Oh, all right, as a little subcategory.
Yeah, Blackpool Illuminations. So,
what did they have? Did they have any Was there a theme to it?
not that I can remember. So there was 1 or 2 like adverty ones.
All right.
But there were lots that you'd have remembered from your childhood, or some sort of things that you'd remember from your childhood. Like I think there was some Disney sort of characters.
So there was one where there was all the Coronation Street characters.
Yes,
I remember, Vera Duckworth and
I'm
people
not
like that.
sure that was still there. I can't remember if there was like an X Factor one or something. But there was a bit towards the end when we went to the Bispham Chippy bit where they had like a massive ghost. You know, they have some that are not just... So you've got the road that you drive down, the prom.
Yeah.
So you're on the front and like you'd look up and you'd see the ones. And there was like, you know, like in Beauty and the Beast, there's like the candelabras and stuff. But I'm not sure they're official Disney ones or they were before that. But they weren't told.
Okay. Yeah,
so there was like princesses and there was like... I think there was Toy Story, like Woody and people like that. And then there was... Towards the end, there were these massive ones that were on the seafront on big scaffolding, like huge advertising hoardings. One was like a haunted house with like a skeleton popped up and a zombie, and that was quite good. And then there was a couple of like things like that, and then there was like an underwater scene, and they were just nice.
Yeah.
I think if I was in my 20s, I'd been like, oh, what an utter waste of time, and now I find all that really great again. Just the effort.
You do come full circle, don't you, with stuff like
do.
that? You get over yourself.
Yeah,
it's actually all right.
Like, this is fun. Going for a chippy. Just been to Coral Island and played darts and played like that donkey derby thing, you know, where you roll skittles into
yeah.
I can play that all day. I never get bored of that.
Yeah.
And it was just a top day.
Yeah. I used to always like, you know, the horse race. You used to put basically a betting on toy horses.
And like this, so it's always red or blue, and then like the outlying one, green or yellow, is like 8
miles behind as well.
And it used to be 2p, and you'd be like, it's got to be green this time. I win 10p. It's been 60p to win 10, and you're like, yes, in the system. Yeah, all that was there, but it's 10p ago now.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, it might even be more. I think it's 10p.
Inflation gone mad.
Yeah, political correctness gone mad. So, that's episode 1. And if nothing else, now the next time if anybody bangs on about Britain being great, we've got 2 very definite reasons, and I also would include Blackpool women.
Yeah. It falls under the category of seaside holiday anyway, I would say, so it's fine. Yeah.
So what's so great about Britain, fish and chips is great about Britain, and a British seaside holiday is great about Britain. Would you, if I had a TV budget now and went, so you can have with your family a lovely week in any British seaside resorts of your choice in August.
Yeah.
Or I've got this weekend in Rome or Venice. What would you choose?
Rome.
I wonder what Nigel Farage would choose. I think he would. I don't know what he'd say.
He'd go to...
I would like a pint of beer and a cigarette.
He can't remember. He's got a constituency in a British seaside resort. He doesn't bother going
Never
there.
goes there, does he?
No. To be fair to him, I wouldn't allow him to go to Rome on the basis that, in theory, the seaside is where he works. You know
yeah. See ya.
Bye. Oh. Right. How long was